What is going on, good people? Man, we have got us a beautiful day out here today, but it's still a little chilly. So we're into March and it's time for those March lawn chores. You know, March is like that month where you get the fake spring where it's warm a couple of days, then it's right back cold. So we're gonna get into it and just go ahead and jump into this first one. It's actually gonna be a follow-up to a previous video that I just released, and also into the February lawn chores, and that's going to be pre-emergent and post-emergent weed control. So March is typically the month where most of us reach the soil temps or get to the point where it's time for us to put down pre-emergent. So make sure you're checking on that and you're getting your pre-emergents down. I have made a video going into depth about pre-emergents. Make sure you go check that out. I will link it down in the description. And hey, the rest of the Workin team has also put out videos dropping some information that may not be known about pre-emergent. So I'll link those also so you can go review those in depth and get the information as you get ready to put down your pre-emergent. In addition to pre-emergent, there's also your post-emergent herbicides for your weed control. A lot of us are starting to see weeds and everything popping up. Now is the time to start taking care of those before they start to go to seed. During this time of year, I've mentioned it before, I like to use Speed Zone, which is an ester-based herbicide. I will get into a future video talking about the weed control that I like to use. So stick around for that video. That will be coming out here shortly. The second lawn chore for the month is gonna be, hey, it may be time to put down that first application of fertilizer. All right, don't get too excited, don't get too excessive at this point. And the reason that I say that is because coming out of winter, the lawn will need some nutrients. So we just want to give it a little bit to feed it, just to support its natural growth habit, which is gonna be the spring flush. As soil temperatures rise, as the air temperatures rise and things start to warm up, our cool season lawns are going to go through what we call the spring flush, where they're just going to take off and start running naturally. So we do not want to force a lot of excessive top growth at this point, which is not healthy for the turf. So just give it a little something. I say no more than a quarter pound coming out this month right now, because it's gonna want to naturally grow once things start to warm up. So give it a little bit of food. That may be an option for you if things are starting to warm up and your lawn has started to come out of dormancy. Here, my lawn is definitely greening up. It's actually growing right now. I can see a nice amount of growth on it. So I went down and I put down only 1/10 of a pound from the lawn supply company. So I have given my lawn a little bit of food already here in March. So no need to force top growth, but giving it a little bit of nutrition, it will be a good thing to get it going for the spring. The next thing for us to take care of this month is gonna be, it's time to get these landscaping beds cleaned up. All your natural areas, it's mulch madness. Time to get out there, put down any fresh mulch that you need to get down, get the weeds and everything out of your flower beds that have came up over the winter. As we start to talk about mulch madness, make sure that you're looking for those sales. A lot of landscaping nurseries or even your big box stores will have sales on their mulch. And y'all know me, I love my crisp live edges. It's time to sharpen those back up. And I've got a number of videos on that. I'll link those also in the description so that you'll have those. Make sure you're cleaning up those edges. Personally, I like to do those things before I get my first mow in, because when I get my first mow in, I want it to be nice and crisp. Even though that first mow may not be all the way pristine, everything may not be all the way out of dormancy, but I like for everything to be as close as possible to being ready to be that nice spring showpiece. Also, while you're pulling up your weeds and getting everything cleaned up in your landscape bed, make sure you're putting down a pre-emergent. I do not like using the landscape fabric. It is a waste to me. It does not prevent the weeds. So if you are on a good pre-emergent program within your landscape beds, same as the lawn, you will have very minimal weeds to worry about as the season goes on. So there are a couple of different options. You can go to your big box store, pick up Preen. That is an option that you can use, or you can go with a professional product like Snapshot, and there's a number of other ones, but those are the two that I have used with very good success in making sure that I'm keeping those weeds out of my natural areas in my flower beds. All right, so we've put down our pre-emergent, we've cleaned up our landscape beds, got our fresh mulch down, got our crisp live edges, and we've also put down our first fertilizer application. Man, what comes after all of that? The part that we all enjoy. Hey man, it might be time for your first mow in the month of March. A lot of times towards the end of March, a lot of us are able to get out there and start mowing. I've actually seen some people further down south, they're already mowing and striping and everything else. But I am saying that I'm getting close to probably my first mow. Things are greening up, they're growing. So my first mow will be this month in March. So this is one of the things that we all enjoy. I know it's been a while since we've been able to do it. So make sure you get out there, enjoy that mow if it's time. That is one of the things that will also continue to help the lawn to wake up when you get out there and make that first mow. So if you've got any areas that are like really matted down where you've had snowfall or whatever the case may be, just get out there with a rake those areas up, just kind of fluff them up a little bit. That definitely helps get a little more air circulation in there, help those areas stand up and then start to come out of dormancy. If you are able to get out there and make your first mow, just remember you do have cool season grass. You will see in some other videos and people that have warm season lawns where they'll be out scalping their lawns. You do not need to scalp your cool season lawn. That is not a thing for us cool season people to do. Make sure you do not get out there and scalp it. Just kind of keep in mind the 1/3 rule. If you want to get out there and get that mow in, you can follow the 1/3 rule. Personally, your lawn will wake up at different times. You'll have some areas that are really growing and some areas that are not growing so much. So you may not be able to follow the 1/3 rule completely there for that reason. But I like to get out there, get a good mow on it when certain areas start to get too tall, knowing that I want to manage at about a 3-inch height of cut. So I'll typically only let it get to around 4 inches or so, a little over 4 in certain areas before I get out there and I'm ready to make that cut. Make sure that you are getting your blades sharp. This is going to be that first mow. Just go ahead and start the season off with a sharp blade, or if you need to replace them, make sure that you've got it on there and you're ready to get the season going. You may not be cutting every week at this point in March, but just best believe that when April gets here, the mowing will pick up. So if you are able to get out there and do that first mow this month, I hope you enjoy it. I know I'll be getting my first mow in this month and I'm looking forward to it. So at this point, it's about time for us to kick the season off, and hope y'all are getting ready because it is upon us. And as I always say, just know we work.